What's up, everyone? The Japanese Championship Series just concluded over there in Japan with 1,963 players vying for their World Championships invite, and this was their last chance to do so, I believe. In Japan, their season concludes at the end of this tournament, and all of the players who have qualified for the World Championships will be who we see in a few months. Now, that being said, this is our last look at the Paldea Evolved format from Japan, so what they're playing, how it's going, is very important to us over here in the States because Paldea Evolved is both our NAIC and World Championship format, barring, a couple of maybe random releases and promos, whatever, whatnot. So the tournament was taken down by Fusion Mew, Mew being a deck that's been on the warpath recently. And while the entire top 16 decks have not been collected, I did want to look through and show the decks that have been collected for those of you who are preparing to buy cards, get prepped, and get ready for Paldea Evolved. Now, that being said, if you are buying cards from the Paldea Evolved format, just scroll down below in the comment description. All you have to do is go to my affiliate link on TCG Player. It'll just pop up here, say Rahul Reddy, and you can just pick up whatever you want, put it into your cart, buy it, and that will support the channel greatly. So I appreciate that in advance. Thank you guys so much. And now let's jump into the video. The winner was Fusion Mew. Now, Fusion Mew has been around for a little bit. Everyone has, talked about the validity of it. Fusion Mew kind of pops off. Sometimes doesn't pop off sometimes. But the most interesting thing about this Fusion Mew list is this Ice Cube that has Block Slider. Ice Cube does 40 damage to each one of your opponent's Pokemon for each Fusion Strike energy attached to all of your Pokemon. Now, why is Block Slider good? Well, Block Slider deals with things like Gardevoir on the bench or Ralts early on. You don't really want to kill the Mew, the baby Mew that's in the active, but you don't really get a better chance to play a better supporter. So you can Alessa Sparkle turn one, go for the Ice Cube, Block Slider the Ralts. Alessa Sparkle lets you take the first knockout. Against Lost Zone box, same thing. You don't really want to kill the Cram. You can take care of a Comfy, force him to get the Manaphy up and running. Basically, you're just putting a lot of pressure at any given point because of Block Slider specifically. And it has, it's not really the attacker you want to use, but overall, this deck is so good. I think something messed up in the converter, because this should be a Meloetta, I'm pretty sure, in the deck. This shouldn't be an Oricorio. I believe I saw the list, and this should be a Meloetta in here, and that's this Oricorio. So ignore that right there. That's a little bit of a weird bug, I guess, in the system. But that being said, the list is very stock standard. Iono taking the spot of the Roxanne that's typically played, which is good because it's more of a live card in the early game. One path to the peak to kind of give us a late game Iono path answer. Three Seal Stones, 2 Choice Belts, and a Cleansing Gloves. So very, very heavy on tools, but these tools are all very good at progressing the game state and putting a lot of pressure. So yeah, list is good. I think it's very solid. Start if you're looking to play Fusion Mew and kind of adapt it to what you want. Second place, we had a Gardevoir list, and this Gardevoir list is probably the most stock standard Gardevoir list I've seen in a very long time, besides the one Spirit Tomb, with the Fettered in Misfortune ability. 4 Iono, 3 Boss, 2 Research, no Palpad, just a very straightforward, here's my supporter line, no worker, I'm playing 4 Stadiums, very adamant on just what the cards do. 11 Psychic Energy, no Nose High Seal Stone, no 4 Seal Stone, no Reversal Energy, no shenanigans, nothing fun in this list. Just everything is consistency down the board, it looks like. And I mean, it worked. It worked. You got this player to finals, and I think that can be that speaks spades on why this kind of a build is still good. Early game, your Ionos are still netting you a lot of cards, so Iono is the most ideal supporter you want to see early game, because you don't really want to discard anything besides energies in the early game. And that you have Greninja 4 plus Refinements 4. I wouldn't actually play the Mirage Step Curlia. I think Mirage Step Curlia is complete cope. I would just play 4 Refinement no matter what. But besides that, I like the list. I don't think Spiritomb actually does anything. I did cover the finals game on the channel in yesterday's video, so please check that out if you want to see my thoughts on that. I think Spiritomb is just a bad card, but yeah. And then we have in third place Mew. Again, what is happening with this list? I haven't taken a look at these lists yet, so I am... What is happening right now? Mew with Oricorio, 1 Fusion Strike Energy, I guess to draw cards under Spirit Tomb, 1 Luxray, and 1 Reversal. That's cool, but it's a very difficult combo to pull off because you can only pull out Luxray with Ultra Ball, and Reversal is not a searchable card besides Cramomatic. Drapion for the Mirror. I like that. That's fine. It's best of 1 for the most part in Japan until they get to top 16, I believe. Then they start playing best of 3. 2 Iono, 2 Judge, 2 Boss, 1 Street, and 1 Silene. I would probably do 3 Judge, 1 Iono, just because And I also don't know why you need a Serena. I'd probably just make it 4 Judge or like 3 Iona, 3 Judge maybe. Silene's fine. I think Silene's like a completely okay card. 4 Tablet, 4 Ultra, 4 Feather, 4 Nest. Yo, something is missing. Oh, there's no VIP Pass. No, VIP Pass is not an expensive card in Japan. I don't know why VIP Pass is missing. Cram is missing. Cram and VIP Pass are missing. So the high roll package from the list is a little bit missing, leaving us with 4 Feather Ball, 4 Nest Ball, 3 Vacuum, 2 Switch Card, a Rope, Heavy Ball. So there is technically 12 ball cards to search for cards. Just the impact on turn 1 is a little bit worse. There's a Horn. There's 2 Seal Stones, 2 Choice Belts, 2 Path, and a Collapse. I don't know. This list looks like there's so many cards that just get stuck in your hand. And Mew does not want to have cards being stuck in their hand. Like, you do not want to see this Luxray early game. You do not want to see this Drapion early game. You don't want to see the Ionos, the judges, the supporters, like the random reversal and the Fusion Strike energy. Like, I feel like your Lugia matchup should be fine. Maybe it isn't, and you need to have the Luxray package, but like, with no Cremomatic, how are we ever finding this package? Like, yes, I guess as soon as we fall behind, we can just Ultra Ball and put the Luxray onto our bench. But at that point, we're drawing less cards anyway, so now we have a guy on our bench that doesn't do anything. This is the wildest list that I've seen in a long time for a mainstream deck. Top 4, Tina. Japan loves their Giratina over there, actually. I don't know why that doesn't convert over here. I feel like Giratina is a strong deck, but I just don't think it stands up to like something like Turbo Lost Box, which I prefer a lot more, and I know like a lot of North American players really, really like as well. Looks pretty standard to me. The Iono replacing Roxanne. 2 Path to the Peak, that's pretty normal. 2 Super Rod. So now you don't have to play Clara, which gives you more angles to play things like Roxanne and... Oh my god, there's 2 Roxanne and Iono. Okay. Gives you more angles to play cards like these, so you can Rod into these pieces. Technically, you don't need to use Sableye as much down the line. I don't really know why Sinnoh's in here. Maybe for V-Guard energy. Probably is my best bet. 3 Switch Card, 2 Rope. That's very few switching cards, so I guess you have to use Abyss Seeking in the early game, which I don't hate. I think there's very few things that can actually punish the Abyss Seeking early. And you do have a bunch of disruption cards, so maybe it's completely fine. But I would probably play more switching cards if possible, and cut some of these wacky cards. Jet Energy is cool too. I like Jet Energy. It acts as a switching card, I guess. So Tina's good. Another Tina, making it into, I think this was top 8. So now we're just looking at the top 8 lists. Oops. Yikes. Spoiler. 1 gear, makes sense. Same supporter line, it looks like from before. I guess that's the way to do it. Spirit 2 with Fettered and Misfortune. Just dealing with the Mew matchup, I guess, is very good. 3 Path, 3 Jet Energy. Again, 2 Switch Card, 2 Rope. Like, I don't understand why there's so few switching cards. But I guess you're not going for a turn 1 Cram, and like your turn 2, like Sableye is not like the idea. Like, I guess turn 2 is like Mirage gating into Giratina and then starting to attack, and then Giratina's attack will put the energies in the Lost Zone for you. So I guess that makes sense. It's just weird for me to see low switching cards in Lost Box. And then we have Turbo. This Turbo list has a lot of greedy attackers in Drapion, Raikou, Dragonite, and Snorlax. Playing Sky Seal Stone over Forest Seal Stone. So this isn't actually Turbo. This is like old school Sky Seal Stone version. 1 Raihan, 1 Roxanne, and a Clara. Still playing a Clara with the 2 rods. I think that makes sense. 1 copy of Gear. I don't know if that's Cope or just like we're just playing it to have like a quote-unquote 5th chorus, I guess. 4 Cart, 3 Rope. 1 Artisan to just get your guys out on the board. I like this list. I think it makes sense. I know that people have had a lot more success with Forest Seal Stone just because you can go through your deck much quicker and find the pieces you need to find. But this also makes sense because Sky Seal Stone gives you a huge swing turn into Mew with the 4 on Drapion. Raikou gives you 3 on Lugia. Dragonite exists. And then Snorlax, I think, is a very, very good attacker in a lot of situations. So I like this card a lot. So either Snorlax or Articuno would probably make it into this slot for me. And I do think Snorlax is very good in what it's supposed to do. So I do like this idea. So yeah, Turbo. Another Giratina making its way into the top 8, which is crazy. Like, there are so many Giratinas, but it just does not translate over here in the West. Again, low switching cards. I'm going to be disturbed by it the whole time, but it's fine. 2 Iono, 1 Roxanne. A little bit more Ionos, so you have early game refresh versus the Roxanne, but early game you want to be chorusing every time anyway. I feel like you could play like a Fish and like an Ultra Ball too in here. Oops, that's not one. Like, I feel like you could play those cards just because you can like shuffle them back in, but I guess you never get a chance to attack with them, so maybe not. So yeah, Gardevoir here, Yoshi, Yuki, Yamaguchi. I think played this list. Yoshi is a very, very good player. Securing his Day 2 Worlds invite. This list looks a lot more stock standard to what I would play with A Worker, because I think Worker is an absolutely broken supporter card. 4 Iono, 2 Research, 2 Boss, makes sense to me. 3 Candy, which is something a new change that a lot of us have been doing, which I like a lot. Artisan, Sinnoh, Collapsed. Weird split of 3. I don't really know why the Collapsed is good, per se, besides like bumping something that's really, really damaged, but I could be proven wrong on why Collapse is better than like second Artisan, or just second Sinnoh, or even like one Festival, like randomly. Like, I don't know. I don't feel like Collapse is really good in Gardevoir, but I could be proven wrong. Like, I haven't tested enough yet. You guys feel free to disagree with me. 11 Psychic, 1 Reversal. I think this is like a perfect energy split in a lot of situations. 10-1 is also completely fine, I think. But Reversal is such a good card that I feel like if you have it at any given point with your baby Gardevoir, you can like make a big swing turn happen out of nowhere as soon as turn 2 or 3 even. And I really like the possibility of that even happening. Last but not least, here's our top 16 Fusion Mew list. Oricorio and Meloetta here in the list. Oricorio being very popular in Japan, which is interesting because it doesn't really translate over here. Vacuum, 3 switch carts, 1 rope. That's kind of crazy. I will say that. 2 city, 1 path, very similar. 1 choice, 1 gloves, 1 horn to kind of close out the game. I like that as well. 1 nest ball, a little bit greedy. I think maybe you want another nest ball somewhere. So like I'd probably cut a switch card for another nest ball just to have consistency in the early game because Fusion Mew does get stuck a lot easier. You have a lot of bad cards in your deck. But all that being said, that was the Japan Championships in 2023. We got most of the top 16 lists. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope this gives you a little bit of clarity moving forward into NAIC or testing or whatever you guys are doing. Thank you for watching. I appreciate the support as always. I will catch you guys on the flip. We'll do a lot more just looking at lists, looking at what's going on. And if you guys enjoy this kind of content, please like and subscribe and let me know with a comment down below. Thank you. I appreciate it a ton.